Hi everyone, for this lesson we'll continue with the geometry vocabulary and we'll take a look at postulates. Alright, another word for a postulate is an axiom, and postulates and axioms are used interchangeably, and we can think of them as basic assumptions that are accepted to be true. Okay, so the first axiom we're going to look at is the unique line assumption, and that tells you that between any 2 points there can only be one line. Just like that. Another axiom is the number line assumption, and that states that for any line there are infinitely many points. So we can think of a point right here, here, and so on. And you can infinitely put as many points as you want on a line. Alright, last but not least, we have the dimension assumption, which is another postulate, and that states that for any line you can have a point that is outside of that line, just like that, or one over here, which demonstrates that there's dimensions to this. And for any surface plane, like this one here, we can have a point that's not on the surface. Right here or right here. Alright, so that's the dimension assumption. Alright, so now let's take a look at another concept, which are called theorems. And basically theorems are generalizations that can be proven. Right? So let's put a check mark right here. And it can be proven using definitions, postulates, or even other theorems. Okay, so this is a very important concept. Alright, so here's an example of a theorem, and you'll see many more throughout the unit. This one states that the sum of the measures of the three angles of a triangle is 180 degrees, right? And this can be proven, and we'll do that later on. Alright, here's another theorem that we can look at, and it states that two distinct lines, or two different lines, intersect only at one point. As you can see with this example, we have two different lines and they cross only at this point here. Okay, so the last idea or concept we're going to look at are definitions. And the reason why we have definitions is that so we can have a better understanding of the concepts. Alright, so one way to check to see if a definition is a good definition or not is to use what's called the Reversibility Test. And mainly you all have to do is look at the reverse of a definition or the statement, and if it's false, you know it's a bad definition. Alright, so now let's take a look at an example of the reversibility test. So let's take a look at this statement here. It states that a line segment is a set of points. Right? So now let's reverse it, and we'll say a set of points is a line segment. Now let's reread the reverse statement again. A set of points is a line segment. So why don't you guys think of a scenario where this is false? Now, if you were to think of a set of points that are scattered about like this, then we know that this does not represent a line segment. So therefore, the reverse is false. Then we know that this is a bad definition. right? And we're done, and we're happy.